After claiming to be the hero of pedo victims everywhere,
I'm the friggin' pedo hunter.
MamaMax's claims ultimately unraveled, exposing him as a fraud and costing him everything. My name is Ryan, and we're going to dive into Max's downfall, one that's past the point of no return, and where he is now. Launching his channel in 2016 with a creepy video,
I'm Max.
MamaMax became widely known for his Life Sucks series, where he shared his opinions on issues like jobs, using roughly drawn stick figures to go along with what he was saying.
Because I mean, if your life is not worth living doing a job you hate, then how about you do something you want to do rather than wanting to kill yourself? You make no fucking sense if you keep working at a place that makes you hate your life.
Then, in 2019, he suddenly shifted into investigative thriller-style videos, with his first one called Kanye Quest, an online game, and featured a very deep voice similar to Corpse Husband.
I like eating things, like eating food, drinking water.
In this video, Max claimed his research linked the game to a cult.
Did you see that? When conducting an image search, the symbol leads back to several cult websites, all which go by one name: Ascensionism, a new age cult dating back to as far as 2006.
At this point, Max showed that he could piece together information and keep his audience engaged, as reflected in the dramatic jump in views from around 100,000 to over 1 million. This combination of storytelling skill and growing popularity would later become important in the next videos and the niche that he would try to take on. On November 26, 2021, Max uploaded a video about someone he claimed was a notorious PDF file involved in a PDF file ring,
where he uncovered one particularly inveterate child predator known in-game as Pablo Sonny, a pedophile with an extensive history of grooming multiple teenage girls.
only for the video to be removed by YouTube after reaching its first 1 million views for violating the platform's sex and nudity policy. Furious, Max uploaded what would become his most controversial YouTube video titled "Pick a Side YouTube" 1 month after the previous video was banned. In it, he accused the platform of siding with PDF files.
You take down our shit and continue to help absolutely no one besides the evil people we are trying to expose, and the survivors continue to scream in agonizing silence.
Max also vowed to gather influencers to join him in the fight against PDF files.
If I have to start shit with every influencer in this goddamned planet just to make anyone give even a slight fuck, so be it. I'd rather have the whole world hate me than ever hear a child's voice being silenced again. I'm gonna have to upset all of my fellow creators and make a goddamn disaster out of you, YouTube, because you never do anything until we start squeezing your balls.
On his Twitter account, Max tagged many, including Keemstar, Moist Critical, and Corpse Husband, and Keemstar was the first to respond.
But it's time for YouTube to push back and get these videos monetized and support creators that are literally trying their best to out this information to protect the site, protect the community, and protect the YouTube community and make this all a safe and better place. You got to see that video. YouTube, pick a side on YouTube.
And he didn't just want influencers involved in the fight, but his viewers as well.
Children, the links are in the description. I kindly ask you to come with me to make a fucking mess for the second time. I want you to pace this bitch until the world is nauseous from looking at it. I want you to drown out every trending topic so that even something like Spider-Man looks like a microscopic speck of dust compared to us. And by the end of the night, I want Twitter to be a shitstorm.
And many users on Twitter came out in support of Max's cause. By this point, it may have dawned on Max that this was his niche all along, and that this was his calling, to save victims and would-be victims of abuse from predators.
It's true though. It's the truth. I'm the friggin' pedo hunter.
With the support of influencers and his group of online investigators, Max formed what he saw as an anti-pedo Avengers team.
We don't like pedophiles. Something you don't seem to see eye to eye with us on YouTube.
In his videos, he was now on a mission to investigate PDF files and take steps to stop them, even if it meant simply scaring them off.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Would you like to see? Have you ever seen? So you want to show my?
Yeah, I want to see your.
Okay.
But until then, I hope my phone calls have instilled enough fear in them to make them back off.
Or even bait these supposed pedos into revealing themselves and then reporting them to the FBI.
Can you see me now?
I can see the top of your head.
There you are. Start running. We ditched the call after successfully extracting his personal information. We have verified that he is overage and confirmed that he made an attempt to sexually exploit a minor. As I do, and I have done with every single predator, I immediately make a report to the FBI.
For many fans, this meant a lot. Max, I was a child victim and there was nobody to protect me. I'm 50 years old now and I still suffer from the effects. My attacker was protected by his family and never faced justice. Please continue what you do and know that you are my hero. I love how Max is just smiling throughout most of the call like I'm about to end this man's whole career. However, this moment of praise would not last, as what seemed like a noble cause soon led Max into one controversy after another until there was no room left for his career to grow. Right after Max tagged Moist Critical to join his #PickAside YouTube campaign, Charlie released a video explaining why he chose not to take a part, only to be labeled as pro PDF file by some people.
I think the PickAside children or pedophiles is extremely goofy and distorts the actual message of his video. The message of his video is very much YouTube censors dark content. They unfairly treat people who investigate serious things. So the message gets totally distorted and it just creates a hostile environment where people fight each other, even though everyone's on the same side. It just causes all of this infighting, because when people point this out that like, hey, this isn't the most effective Twitter trend to get the message across, they're immediately labeled pro-pedophilia. Everyone agrees with the message of the MamaMax video, but disagrees that it needs to be painted as a kids versus pedophiles issue, because that doesn't actually encapsulate the problem.
But many people know that Charlie has always been openly against PDF files.
I'm gonna say what others are too afraid to say. Pedophilia is bad. Thank you, thank you. I know, hey, someone had to say it. Someone had to come in and put their foot down and say, enough is enough, you know?
Charlie's take on the campaign pointed out Max's early weaknesses as it failed to create a storm as Max planned. And after this, more and more weaknesses in Max's approach began to show, leading to several long YouTube breakdowns, many running over an hour. In fact, the first video that put Max under the spotlight wasn't criticizing his pedo hunting approach nor a personal feud. It was an expose by Magnetar YT, where Anthony, the boyfriend of Max's former best friend Haley, who uploaded a now unlisted video on YouTube. It featured Haley herself and two exes, Lucy and Olivia, speaking out about the person Max really was behind his public image as a noble pedo hunter.
There are many reports to the police on my behalf because of Max. It took me several years to admit that I had a stalker. I've been diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety as a direct result of being held against my will in that hotel room.
We stayed there actually the night before going to Six Flags itself, where that is where he assaulted me.
And he threw it at me. He just kept throwing shit at me. And the webcam, he threw it so hard that it broke, like, in half.
A stalker, a sexual assaulter, and a violent person, Max appeared very different from the hero he portrayed in his videos. In fact, while he was so adamant about condemning anyone who interacted inappropriately with minors, he had actually dated Lucy while she was still underage.
I dated MamaMax when I was a minor at 17, from 2016 to 2018.
2 years older than her, Max even spoke sexually about Lucy with fans of the relationship, showing how much of a pervert he was. He was also reportedly aggressive with his girlfriends, pressuring them into sex, as he did with Olivia.
But the biggest red flag was when I was on my period and he was trying to convince me to go rubberless, I guess. And he was saying that you can't get pregnant on your period. Like, let's just do it. You can't get pregnant on your period. I was like, that just seems a little wrong.
While it's true that people can behave differently in their personal life than in the work they are passionate about, this was the moment Max began to be seen for who he truly was, someone who enjoyed accusing others without solid proof.
At some point prior, he also accused Anthony of sending photos to a minor who was an old friend and who also happened to be Max's sister's best friend at the time that Max made the claim.
After he left, maybe like a couple days later, he told everyone I cheated on him, which I never ever cheated on him. He called me, he kept spam calling me, and this is when I started working at Walmart. When we first started dating and he was like love bombing me and shit, he was telling me about how horrible Lucy was and about how horrible Haley was. And he told me him and Haley dated, which Haley told me they never did, so.
Early on, Max displayed a pattern that would later define his videos, treating unverified allegations as evidence. But because Magnetar's video came out unexpectedly and challenged Max at the time when he was still considered a hero for pedo victims, Magnetar faced massive backlash from Max's fans that almost made Magnetar get into the point where he was considering committing suicide. There was no saving Magnetar at the time. It would take a year and a half before his claims were substantiated by the first whistleblow exposing Max's fake pedo hunt videos, revealing the connection between his personal behavior and his YouTube persona. In January 2024, Mudahar, Max's friend, uploaded a video titled "Max is a Complete Fraud," which gained over 3 million views. The 1-hour-long video revealed a detailed account of how Max had allegedly faked everything, including a Discord call where Max was caught lying to Mudahar and Nicholas Diorio, a fellow content creator who had previously covered Max and was also Max's friend. When asked by Nicholas,
how much of what you do is kayfabe and how much of it is legitimately, like, live, this is the investigation, here it is?
Max responded,
the investigations themselves are real, but obviously the films have fictional elements. I am presenting it as if it were to be real, but I didn't think people would take it as that. Like,
but wait, you hunt pedophiles. You don't think that people are going to think your videos are real?
So that's the thing. So I want everyone, when you watch my video, to assume everything is fake, except like when I show a face on what they're doing.
The response was confusing, to say the least. For a long time, Max had presented his videos as very serious, making strong claims against alleged PDFs and even showing their faces, while repeatedly stating that he was risking his life to seek justice for the victims.
I just want kids to be safe. It breaks my goddamn heart to see so many stories from the survivors of child exploitation that reach out to me. All of them without their parents even knowing what the hell was happening to them.
In fact, when looking at his earlier videos, he portrayed himself as having foolproof methods for identifying supposed pedos, being able to uncover their identities, personal details, and photos within minutes, which supposedly could have brought him one step closer to delivering justice.
So I act under the guise of an agent from the Microsoft security team and text the phone number that was given to me by the bounty hunter. I say that there's been a potential cyber attack on his account, and I ask him to confirm his username. I found you.
And in December 29, 2021, 4 days after launching the Pick a Side YouTube campaign, he claimed in an interview with Nicholas he already had real results against a specific predator named Pablo Sunny.
The rapist that was in the video is currently in police custody. And
was that as a result of your video, or was
yes.
that prior to the video?
Yes, it was because of the video.
Right.
The video was about IMVU and this one predator. I made it about him and him alone.
However, during the Discord call in Mudahar's video, when asked by Nicholas,
have you ever gotten someone arrested? You went on my podcast to tell me that you've got someone arrested and it was because of your video, just to be clear.
Max revealed that he had never actually brought justice to anyone.
If I have, then I don't know it. I've been emailed stuff like, hey, you got this guy arrested, congratulations.
You went on and you said, this guy was arrested, it was because of me, it was because of my video. And you told me that 2 years ago.
Max appeared to completely forget about the supposed arrest of Pablo Sunny, raising serious doubts about whether it had ever happened in the first place.
Pablo Sonny? I don't think so. I think he got away.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, if he was arrested, I have no idea.
Why did you tell me he was arrested? You said Pablo Sonny was arrested and my video did it. Why did you lie to me on my show?
Do you have a clip of that?
Yes. It's in something I've been
send it.
currently editing.
Yeah, send it to me.
After Nicholas played back on Max's own words from that 2021 interview, Max suddenly remembered, but then defended himself with an excuse.
So you lied.
So that was what I was told through Instagram posts when I was in contact with his friends.
You didn't remember that until I showed you the clip? You didn't remember that, like, this is your biggest crown achievement, that you got a pedophile arrested?
At this point, Mudahar's whistleblow went even further, as Max also exposed himself in the Discord call that his so-called legal framework from all of his pedo hunting came from ChatGPT.
You know, if I make a video on this, this is what I have to work with. How do you honestly think I can take your side? Logically, if tomorrow I was like, oh, where's Max getting his legal definitions? Oh, ChatGPT. By the way, ChatGPT has also been getting dumber over the last few months. We'll read it together.
ChatGPT understands the legal system.
Because of Mudahar's video, many of Max's fans looked back at his older content and began noticing repeated inconsistencies, realizing that much of it was centered on presenting himself as the hero. What really irked me about Max and made me unsubscribe was how his recent videos were filled with weird artistic editing and spooky cult imagery, and then only like 3 minutes of it were actually dedicated to the victims and the situation at hand. It felt like it was much more about him and his ever-growing hero complex than it was ever about bringing a predator to justice. True enough, instead of covering the issue in a professional way, Max forced suspense through random spooky visuals rather than letting the facts speak for themselves.
Today, a survivor of child abuse reached out to me. They say there's a site crawling with predators. You and I are gonna find them, pry them.
Beyond the visuals, his scripts also focused on a lot of strong emotions, talking about how hurt and angry he felt for the victims, and used very dramatic language about what he wanted to do to the people he accused, which felt over the top instead of calm and factual.
I feel defeated, but can't give up now. One more enemy to deal with. I will destroy your high places, cut down your incense altars, and cast your carcasses on the lifeless forms of your idols, and my soul shall abhor you.
And with that, another issue came to light, the Camden cult. In late 2023, Max uploaded a now deleted video about Camden Gerard Davis, whom he described as the leader of an organized cult that targeted children and young adults.
The man had recruited hundreds of young children, subjecting them to sending CP, assault, and attempted trafficking.
In this video, Max made extremely serious allegations about Camden, claims that were presented rapidly and almost glossed over. Mudahar covered this in the same whistleblower video and commented on how unprofessionally it was presented.
He talks about Camden. Now here, Max gives full names, plays loud music, and again, I have to frame by frame analyze, which, for a serious topic like this, please stop the theatrics. Present this with the respect it deserves.
Despite the seriousness of these accusations, the rest of Max's video failed to properly support them. Instead, the video leaned heavily into suspenseful theatrics, with screenshots presented as evidence flashing on screen for less than a second at a time, which Mudahar said made it nearly impossible for viewers to verify what Max was actually claiming, and even when Mudahar reviewed the footage frame by frame, the claims still did not add up.
What is the context here? How does this explain the cult? How does this explain anything? This is why people are mad. He is presenting these screenshots like they're damning evidences, and they are not. Please present it seriously. Leave this on for people to digest and provide context to what you're showing.
Despite the lack of clear verifiable proof, Max went on to call for major YouTubers to publicly condemn Camden, or at least bring attention to the situation. In fact, Max had previously contacted YouTubers like Mudahar himself to cover his Camden cult project as a way to support his video. This video is designed to be a trap for reaction channels. We would be honored if you would consider covering it in a thoughtful manner. He also reached out to Charlie, suddenly becoming aggressive and spamming him. And when Charlie didn't respond, Max threatened that he had the power to simply cancel him.
I could literally cancel you, Charlie. I could literally cancel you. And I choose not to. It's true though. It's the truth. I'm the friggin' pedo hunter.
Marking the second time Charlie was caught up in a controversy with Max since the Pick a Side YouTube campaign. However, Charlie quickly addressed the situation with another calm and non-dramatic response.
We talked like a month ago about what he was working on in his investigation. Apparently, when I had COVID, he messaged me a couple times and I never saw it, and now he's taken that as me ghosting him and ignoring his very important mission.
By this point, it seemed like the Camden cult issue was driven by Max's hunger for support and clout. Like many of his other videos, it framed an alleged predator and cult leader through stylized editing, rather than taking any concrete steps towards justice or accountability. And with that, viewers played into the fakeness of Max's claims about Camden, especially now that Mudahar had exposed him as a liar. Some dude on Fiverr got paid $5 to roar with fake vampire teeth for Max and is now a cult leader. However, Max stood by his claims largely because one of the alleged victims of Camden, a woman named Spencer, served as the sole testimony supporting his story.
Yeah, he was into some weird shit. He would sit there and bite me all the time, saying that he needed to bite me for my transformation, because at that point, when I was living with him, I was supposed to be a werewolf instead of a vampire. And then later on, he changed it to I was both.
While having someone to back up your claims can be a starting point for evidence, it's not sufficient on its own. As Mudahar put it,
but let's not ignore that serious allegations require very serious pieces of evidence to corroborate them. We cannot work off of testimony alone. Had Max provided evidence about this, then it would be all okay and gravy. But in this situation, he hasn't done that.
For some fans, it was also important to further corroborate both Max's and Spencer's claims, but these efforts did not produce any more proof. In addition to the lack of supporting material in Max's videos, online investigators noted that screenshots of accounts attributed to Camden often lacked usernames or searchable metadata, leading them to suggest that the narrative may have been dramatized production created for online engagement. Some even theorized that Spencer might have been in on the fake story all along. Viewers also noticed inconsistencies in Spencer's background. Max and Spencer also claimed to have only met due to the situation, but in another video/stream mentioned knowing each other since childhood. 3 miscarriages in 4 months, orange juice and cinnamon abortions, the fact that she states she found kids for Camden to groom. Taken together, it's clear that Max was more focused on creating suspenseful content to get views rather than on pursuing real cases or genuinely seeking justice for victims of PDF files. He even went as far as to collaborate with someone to fabricate a story online just to attract millions of views. Another perspective, however, is that his motivation wasn't just views, but also about making money. With all the information out now about Max, his further videos confirmed much of what we know about him today. In 2019, he uploaded a video about Om Shinrikyo, a cult in Japan, claiming he was doing the public a favor by bringing attention to the continuing existence of this old cult, while also putting himself at risk.
I am disgusted by what I'm seeing. And unfortunately, in telling you all of this, I may have just made myself a target to this cult, as they are still very much alive today, now going by the name of Aleph.
But he said he didn't mind.
Because I'm not gonna live a life being afraid of standing up to evil people. Plus, I got all of you watching my back, don't I?
At the time, this earned him respect from fans. This dude literally made himself a target for a death cult and doesn't care. I think we found the true MVP, a genuine legend. However, in hindsight, something seemed sketchy, like his usual mention of his Patreon.
You can watch my back real good by supporting me on Patreon. Link in description.
And the question of how a cult in Japan, most of whose members were already dead with only sympathizers left, could possibly care about a guy like Max. For critics, this was laughable.
It's been nearly 4 years since he dropped this video, and conveniently ever since, MamaMax hasn't gotten any word from the Japanese cult since this. Weird coincidence. I guess he got enough Patreon cash to keep him nice and safe.
Looking back now, it appears Max was collecting money from viewers to support what he framed as noble efforts to catch PDF files. In fact, Mudahar later exposed that Max was making a decent amount of money through Patreon.
You've also built a Patreon where your last reported figure was over 1,800 members. Just the minimum amount, $7.50 Canadian, which is around a little over $5. Let's make it 5 even. You're looking at a minimum paid earning potential before taxes and Patreon fees of $16,705 just for the peak month.
Yet considering that he had not made any arrests, many began to question where that money was really going. This became even more concerning when it was revealed that at one point, Max wasn't even paying rent as he was living in the home of a friend, NightDocs, who was also one of Max's strongest defenders during the Pick a Side YouTube campaign. About a month after Mudahar's video, another Max controversy surfaced, this time involving NightDocs. In February 2024, Nicholas Diorio uploaded a video to bring the situation to light. After allowing Max to live with him rent-free, NightDocs publicly revealed what Max had allegedly done behind the scenes.
His allegations against me range from I'm a neglectful parent to creep that I'm a pedophile. Essentially, the one that I was most bothered by really was when he was calling me a pedophile. I opened my home to this guy. I let him live not paying a dime in rent. He didn't do any chores. He didn't pay any rent. He really didn't do anything.
And just like many of Max's claims in his pedo hunt videos, he once again failed to provide any concrete proof to support his claims about NightDocs, damaging not only his life, but his family as well, including his children.
Much like his allegations against Anthony Field, evidence was never released by Max that would implicate NightDocs at all. Unlike his allegation against Anthony Field, these weren't even made in a public setting.
This was just like what he had done to Anthony back when Haley was still in college, damaging both of their reputations.
When I lost all my friends, I just went away from YouTube and all that. Like, I just lost all of my self-esteem. I just felt like I was like irredeemable. There was something wrong with me that nobody would ever want to be around me, and I had no idea what it was that I did, but I was like, I'm obviously just a piece of shit.
Nicholas Diorio continued investigating to piece together the full story and eventually spoke with Nexpo, who was mutual friends with both Max and NightDocs. Nexpo explained that Max believed NightDocs was a PDF file because of 2 claims.
So Max was convinced that Jim was this pedophile creep, and he backed up this claim with firstly a story about an inappropriate conversation that he claimed Jim had with a minor, and it involved one trip to a restaurant that he and Jim had way back when Max was living with Jim. Apparently Jim was, making moves on the waitress and, continuously hitting on her, and he just wouldn't stop, and it made this, situation or this dinner that they were at very tense and awkward.
But rather than making accusations publicly, Max allegedly spread these claims privately through NightDocs' social circle, resulting in Nexpo himself being influenced by the narrative.
Because Max kind of planted this idea in my head that, oh my god, we're associated with Jim, we have to cut Jim, we cannot be associated with someone like this, he's a pedophile, he's a creep, he's all of these things, and we can't associate with this guy.
Over time, however, especially after more information about Max came to light, Nexpo said he began to reassess the situation and recognize Max's pattern.
But yeah, that was the narrative that Max was running with. And I guess I didn't realize that he could have been, embellishing some details.
After this controversy, it became clear that Max was unraveling, damaging friendships and turning on people around him, driven by his belief that he was a PDF hunter on a mission. Eventually, the internet fully turned on Max. Some viewers even went back to Magnetar's original YouTube video, the one that started it all, to apologize for attacking him at the time. I want to sincerely apologize for running with Max's detestable narrative. I was a fan of his content at the time. I ran over over here to mockingly quote his video the day it was uploaded. Once again, I want to apologize for my part in the witch hunt that he'd instigated. With public opinion firmly against him, Max went silent for months before finally returning in August 2024 with a new video, noticeably toned down in theatrics, though some of his usual style remained.
Guys, I just want to talk.
In the video, he addressed the allegations against him and restated his intentions.
To ensure more kids are getting restorative justice that they deserve. And hopefully one day we can prevent crimes from happening to children at all. That is my mission.
He explained that his absence was not due to guilt alone, but because
I was simply respecting the wishes of those I was advocating for. But I am not the monstrous villain that I've been caricaturized as.
However, instead of acknowledging criticism about how his so-called PDF hunting could have been handled more responsibly or professionally, Max largely deflected.
Mass psychosis is very real, and I'm sure you all can pretty much feel it at this point. Now, people have taken my silence as an admission of guilt. That is not the case.
And viewers were quick to condemn him for that. There's a difference between mass psychosis and basic effing criticism, Max. Wow, he's so narcissistic he thinks he can mass gaslight everyone into thinking he experienced mass psychosis for confronting him on his BS. He then reiterated that what he was fighting for was a fact.
So if you take away one thing from this channel, let it be this. Crimes against children remains one of the most devastating sources of injustice and suffering for humanity.
Something that none of his critics had actually denied in their hours-long breakdowns of his actions. And in what appeared to be an attempt at a nobler comeback, he also turned the video into a fundraiser, but rather than restoring trust, this move was widely seen as another layer of theatrics. To use child exploitation as a shield is crazy actually. The video received over 15,000 dislikes. With low views and a flood of critical comments, Max soon uploaded yet another video in an attempt to salvage his image. On May 3rd, 2025, he released a nearly 2-hour-long video portraying himself as the victim and framing the situation as a personal trial.
Then the people that I trusted, the people that I looked up to, the people that I considered my best friends, they all turned on me in an attempt to protect their own reputations.
Without directly disproving the claims raised by Mudahar and Nicholas Diorio, Max announced his intention to sue Mudahar internationally for alleged damage to his reputation.
I've actually been speaking with multiple legal professionals who all seem to think we have a very solid case. And given what's happened with Karl Jobst recently, I'm pretty confident that we could sue Mudahar for a lot more than $1 million. Given the amount of damage he has caused.
Days later, he uploaded another hours-long video, seemingly to finally justify the lawsuit, given the title said it was only about Mudahar. However, he ended up sharply focusing on attacking Mudahar's credibility.
Actually, our story begins much earlier, in January of 2020, when I first met Mudahar Anas. And being a fan of his content, I really looked up to him. He loved getting drunk with the boys.
That's alcoholism.
And he would often gossip about other YouTubers, despite pretending to be friends with everyone. Afterward, we started drinking at one of the hotels, and he was talking about his self-hatred and suicidal ideations. But that only made us all the more supportive and caring of him.
And replaying Mudahar's claims without offering meaningful rebuttals, including dismissing the infamous Discord call as poorly timed.
No, we're gonna be the nicest we've ever been.
And instead, he chose to use this opportunity to bait for emotional responses, and then subsequently leaking this call to the public without our consent, breaching his NDA again, and being that I was sleep deprived and trying to defend Spencer, I let my emotions get the better of me.
No one really believed that Max was sleep deprived during that Discord call, where he just literally exposed himself as a liar. In the same video, he also devoted a large portion of time to defending his Camden cult video, the time presenting law terminologies, not using ChatGPT as a reference, but Wikipedia.
You'll probably have noticed by now he keeps using words like hard-hitting and irrefutable. This type of evidence is called incontrovertible evidence. This type of evidence is extremely difficult to find because most evidence leaves some room for interpretation, doubt, or rebuttal.
Max then presented various forms of evidence in an apparent attempt to show credibility, but in doing so, only reinforced that his case relied almost entirely on a single source, Spencer's testimony against Camden.
Well, I addressed him as a cult leader and sexual predator because that's how he has been described by the survivors, and even testimonials themselves serve as evidence in a court of law. So to me, that is all of the evidence I need to say this man is a sexual predator and cult leader.
Despite these efforts to reclaim his former influence, Max was never able to regain his peak popularity. In fact, following Mudahar's whistleblow video in January 2024, Max lost a dramatic 130,000 subscribers with no meaningful recovery. And after uploading his 3-hour response to Mudahar, Max went completely silent on YouTube for nearly a year, only returning in January 2026 with a farewell video about his dog. Elsewhere, his Twitter account is no longer accessible. Meanwhile, on Patreon, he does seem to upload occasionally, including a video titled New MamaMax video posted on January 10, which requires you to pay $5 to watch it. But when I bought the subscription, it turned out to just link to his latest YouTube video about the passing of his dog, until I read the description where I found something interesting. Hey guys, I just wanted to share my new video about Mr. Ross with you. This does not replace regular content. We are still actively working on the current project, hinting that he is not giving up on posting yet. However, looking at the views and interactions, no one else seems to be tuning in with Max the way they once did, when his videos regularly pulled millions or hundreds of thousands of views. There were just 2 comments on his Patreon offering support, with one saying, "Wish you all the best for you and your family," but it's clear that the majority of his fans have left him. Indeed, Max's story shows that chasing drama over truth can destroy a creator's trust, and once it collapses, it's almost impossible to rebuild. If you like this video, you'll probably enjoy these next ones as well, and don't forget to subscribe.